What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister,
Aura,
and my brother,
Derek.
And
loud.
Was it loud?
It was loud to me.
Yeah.
We always talking about how y'all can't hear me.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Well,
no, I
man,
mean,
you good. You good.
I'm just about to just turn my volume down just a little bit. You good?
All right, so this week on the podcast, we're going to be talking about Ocean's 12 and how that movie still stands up in 2020. How well does it do? But of course, before we do that, we have the news, and I'm going to start off with some movie. Well, it's always movie news, movie theater news. There we go. Yes, movie theater news. Cineworld and Regal has announced that they have plans to close all their cinemas in the U.S. and the U.K. temporarily. So after No Time to Die was pushed back, and Fast 9 was also pushed back. Yeah, so they're like the second largest, at least in the U.S. Regal is the second largest cinema chain.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising because, okay, Tenet came out, but they ain't making no money here.
Yeah.
And then it's like nothing else has came out after that, probably because Tenet's not making any money. And everything has gotten pushed back. I mean, to stay open, you're just losing money at this point.
Right, and they need blockbusters to really make money. Like the smaller movies, you make money on, they need blockbusters. So you're not getting No Time to Die, you're not getting Fast 9, Black Widow got pushed back. All of that, it's like they're like, we're just gonna bleed money, so they might as well close them. We've been saying this all year, like the effect on theaters. I don't know, what do y'all think is gonna come out of this in the future?
I honestly, I feel like it's going to go back to the same because I feel like the theaters has a lot of pushback on like releasing videos on demand, which I feel like is our only other option, right? You don't go to the movie theater, you have video on demand.
Yeah.
But since AMC had like a big pushback with that, I'm not sure if studios are willing to 100% do that. Because we don't need movie theaters.
Do you think over time, the strength that AMC has over the studios, do you think that's going to be like, I think that gets weaker over time. The longer studios lose money because they're not releasing movies, that strength against that AMC has against them is lost.
I think that it may cause an issue at first because if things go directly to streaming and they want to make their money, you got to think they make their money with the movies coming to the theater because of like the prices that's being charged, the concessions, they're not getting that money.
Yeah.
So I feel like it may hurt us as consumers because for them to get their money, I feel like they will raise prices on things.
Yeah.
What, theaters?
Theaters were already running.
No, not theaters, but like streaming services. Like when it comes
you already saw it was $30 for Milan.
Yeah.
I don't see them because they're already charging us between $20 and $30 to get the movie anyway, which is not cheap.
Yeah,
it's more than an average movie ticket.
Yeah.
I feel like if, let's just hope this is not a thing. But if 2021 doesn't come back to normal, I feel like studios will have no choice but to release it on demand. Otherwise, you're just sitting on these $100 million movies.
Which a lot of them have already been pushed back almost a year.
Then 2022, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they need to make something, right? Some of these studios, this is pretty much all they have, right? Like, okay, Disney's okay. They have a lot of different things they make money
But even then, Disney is hurting, right? When there was no sports, ESPN was like, what does ESPN show if there's no sports?
Yeah, true.
Right.
What do you show?
ESPN was having movie slots. Of course, they were only showing sports movies. But that's what they were showing on ESPN because there was nothing to show.
So here's the thing, like, do you think there's going to be a split? Like, obviously, movies like Black Widow or something like that, Fast 9, No Time to Die, it's going to be harder for studios to release that on demand because of the amount of money they expect from those movies. And I doubt you can make $1 billion on demand, you know?
No, I don't think you can, but I think if what the numbers they pulled out last week from Line is true, $260 million in the first, 9 days, that's not bad. And then that's all Disney's money. And now Disney just now is released it on other platforms.
Oh, they released it on other platforms.
Yeah.
Is it for the regular $19.99?
No. Oh. It's still $29.99, so somebody's paying for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, the thing, why is it $29.99? On the other platforms, you don't get to keep it forever. Like, okay, on Disney Plus, you keep it forever, right?
What do you mean keep it forever? We're going to get it for free in 6 months anyways.
I know, but like for the people who, like, if you don't have Disney Plus and they released it on, I'm just going to say Netflix. I don't know if it's on there, but they released it on Netflix why would it still be $29.99? Because it's not going to be on Netflix forever. It's on Disney Plus forever.
I'm thinking if you pay that $29.99, you own the movie. I didn't read the article because who cares?
Okay.
It would only make sense if you pay that money and you own that movie like normal.
Well, I think that price is fine then, because then it's the price of buying a movie.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in that sense, even on Disney Plus, it's like it's the price of buying the movie, basically. Right. Only problem is you haven't seen it before. usually, when I buy a DVDs brand new, like of a movie just released, it's because I saw it in theaters, and I'm like, movies I haven't seen. You wait till it's that $5 bin.
I got a lot of $5 bin DVDs.
Yeah. But still, it's just the price of a movie. So I guess that price isn't so bad. It just kind of sucks because you're thinking of only watching it once, like the movie theater experience, you know. But,
right, because like Mulan's not the type of movie you watch more than once.
Yeah, well, it's not a good movie apparently. So I'm wondering if it's just going to be like, okay, the blockbusters they release in theaters, and the theaters really become just those events. Like watching Endgame was an event to go to, almost like a sports game, you know. And their smaller releases, they're exclusively video on demand.
I don't know, because if you're a small movie, how do I know about it? You know what I mean? Like Netflix only shows me the stuff I like.
Well, I don't know. When movies get released on Netflix and it has a strong following, don't you hear about it?
I would hear about it, but I don't see it. Like, there's some movie with that guy from Fresh Off the Boat. Mm-hmm. I heard he was in a Netflix movie. Park? Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. Nor did it show up in, hey, watch this now.
Well, not the Netflix Watch This Now. No. Well, they have the trending, I guess.
I don't flip through that. I know what I like.
And then they also have the top 10 most viewed.
But I was talking
they
about...
They didn't always have that.
I was talking about outside.
No, they didn't. That's I will say, new from like the past 6 or 8 months.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, how would I stumble across that movie?
Well, I was saying, like, outside of Netflix, like, you know, in news outlets and stuff, if you, it would be like, hey, this movie is pretty hot right now. Like, I guess Bird Box. I never watched it, but like, I heard about Bird Box because everybody was watching Bird Box. You know,
is that a bad example since Bird Box is on Netflix?
No, it's a good example because I only heard about it.
I just brought up the Randall Park movie that was on Netflix, and you was like, Netflix don't count.
Was it a good movie?
I don't know. People were talking about it. I don't know if it was good or not.
So that's...
I didn't see it.
I think my point is being missed here, but it's fine. I want to see what happens because of this. I personally don't think theaters are going to go back to normal.
I think you're just going to have a short window. You know what I mean?
Window.
Like, yeah.
Like like 4 weeks.
And I see theaters being smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Like not having that many seats.
Or you only have those specialized theaters, like we have, like Pinecrest down the hall.
Like Superstar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where it's like it's an event like that. When you go there, you get food delivered to you and stuff. It's kind of it makes it a real special occasion rather than just the regular theater, which is no longer a special occasion. So,
There's brunch there. Like legit, you can get brunch and not watch a movie.
I've gone there once, and it was pretty nice to have. You order food. They got a little tray you put over your seat and stuff. It was pretty nice.
I don't know. I'm down for that.
I have to check it out when we fully open back up.
Yeah, I mean it's $17 per person.
They cost extra. Plus, you got to pay for your food. Plus you got to tip.
Oh, did I have to tip them? I guess I did. Okay, I don't remember.
That's
when you dining out, you should tip.
That's a lot of money.
You gotta identify. Like, look, we need to define dining out. Okay, like if I have a waitress that is waiting on me constantly, that's dining out. Okay, if you just brought my tray of food to my seat.
I feel you. Because, like, if you go pick up a pizza and they want you to tip,
how people make their money.
I did all the work. I had to get in my car.
That's how. No. I'm going to correct you, everybody. Tips is how people make their money. That's how waitresses and waiters make their money because they get paid less than minimum wage. Okay?
No,
the people that make the same amount of money that everyone else does, no. You don't need to. Why in America do we have to tip everywhere? We're like the only country.
Ridiculous.
The only country.
Glad you guys agree with me. It's ridiculous. I'm like, you already charging me, and then I'm supposed to tip you too?
Yeah, you would.
That's insane.
No,
I'm like, you know what? If you want an extra $5, just tell me it costs $55 instead of $50.
The only tips I agree with is waitresses and waiters, and hotel cleaner people because they don't pay them enough and they gotta clean your nasty stuff. So fine, that's okay. Uber drivers, I tip delivery people, but you know what?
I mean, I don't tip you well. You definitely getting $1.
How much you getting paid as a delivery driver?
You making normal money?
I mean, normal money in the U.S. is not enough. But you know what? I know we're on a tangent on tips here, but I'm even going to say the only reason I agree with tips for waiters and waitresses is because they don't get paid enough. But to be honest, it shouldn't even be set up that way. The only person that benefits is the restaurant owner because he doesn't have to pay the worker that much. So he's getting out like, I don't really have to pay them. You have to pay for your food and part of their wage while he gets richer. So that is the problem. That's the problem. They should just pay them more and we pay for our food. That's how that should work. I'm just saying. That's absolutely how that should work. But since it doesn't work that way, tip your waiters and stuff because, $3 an hour is not enough.
No, I always tip. Unless you bad at your job.
Yeah, if you're a horrible
you bad at your job, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You about to get that $3 and that's it.
If you're bad enough, I ain't going to tip you at all.
Oh, no, I'm not going to tip you at all.
Yeah, you ain't work. No.
No, you with the same attitude. I hope you had other tables.
But yeah, so I think we need to change that. How about we just make restaurants pay waiters a reasonable wage? Fair enough.
I agree. You should get on that.
Yeah. Anyhow, movies. So I think it's going to change eventually at some point. It's shorter window. I think Dora the Explorer over here is.
I said my name was Devorah, not no Dora. Devorah.
Oh, Devorah. I thought you said Dora. Devorah the Explorer.
I'm gonna use Dora next week. Now she gave me that idea.
Okay. Yeah, as Devorah said, probably just a shorter window. We already seen one studio do it. I think it was 7 weeks. Did they do 7 weeks?
I think, it's something like that.
But we'll see what happens off of this. Okay. Next bit of news that I had. Jamie Foxx is returning as Electro in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
Do we
I
want
saw
that? I mean, was he good in the last one?
I don't think they did Electro well. I know Jamie
I think
Foxx can
Electro
act.
was done badly.
Yeah, I know Jamie Foxx can act, so if we have a better director and we still have Kevin Feige as a producer on it, they could do it well. Here's what I think is happening now. I think they're trying to do a Spider-Verse thing. I think they are trying to do a Spider-Verse thing.
Like the cartoon?
Like the cartoon, yeah, because now you're bringing Jamie Foxx is from that universe, and Marvel generally doesn't do that. They did already do J.K. Simmons. It's a rumor out there that they're in talks with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So
Now,
Yeah, I heard about Tobey Maguire.
more of a Sony. I feel like this is a Sony thing.
yes,
Than more. So here's
Yeah.
my thing. So you already have the Spider-Verse with your animated cartoon. Why do we need a live action version of the same thing?
I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool to see it in live action. I just don't know how they'll do it. I think people just want to see the movie universes. Like, oh, hey, that's Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Like,
I feel like we're doing too much once you do this. You know what I mean? I feel like, first of all, Sony suffered for the last Spider-Man movies for having too much into one movie, and then you're repeating that same nonsense.
On both versions of it, on Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2. When you got too much, yeah. I don't know. Since it's a part of the MCU, I don't know if Kevin Feige is going to have him reining in.
Well, he needs to because
it has
I'm
to be
like,
an agreement. Like they have to be in agreement. They're just not going to take whatever Sony puts out there.
I don't know. Maybe they will. I mean, they already hired back Jamie Foxx for some reason.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But that's just my theory. They could just be doing another Electro and using the same actor. I don't know. There's no reason to though, which is why I think they're doing Spider-Verse because there's no reason to pick up Jamie Foxx, right?
Exactly.
J.K. Simmons, another thing, since he perfectly embodied J. Jonah Jameson, so that was fine. Jamie Foxx, there was no reason to pick him up again, so I'm thinking they're doing some kind of Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I feel like you're doing too much. Because you're doing too much. I feel like you're gonna have that, plus the storyline with Peter's identity being out there, plus with he being accused of murder. Now there's also a Spider-Verse.
And
that's three
it's too early. That's supposed to come out at the end of next year, right? We haven't gotten a full. He's still in high school. We haven't really gotten a full story with Spider-Man. I feel like you do this after you completed your Spider-Man story, right? And he's solidified as a hero, and he's good to go. Obviously he'll have problems come up here and there, but he should be good to go at that point. Peter Parker is not solid at this point, I
feel like a Spider-Verse would be a perfect if you wanted to transition into a new Spider-Man. Like, okay, Tom Holland's not Spider-Man anymore, so we can transition into Miles Morales. To me, that would be like the perfect time to introduce a Spider-Verse.
That would be a good idea. I agree with you that the third movie it's too much too soon. They're always rushing though. They are always rushing it. They need to take their time.
Yeah, I have a real feeling that this third movie is not going to be good.
I would agree with you.
Well, do we just scratch that out of the MCU and and just forget it happened like in Humans, or?
Yep, I think basically we played that was that Sony movie, and then you just move on about your day.
That didn't exist. Well, you know what? Here's what I think is going to happen. If it's bad enough, they're not going to let them use any Marvel properties in the movie. Just be like, yeah, no, don't mention our heroes. This person can't cameo in the movie. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully, like I said, we know Marvel's attached. Maybe Kevin Feige can rein some of this in and keep it nice. It kind of makes me glad they reworked that contract because I don't know what we were going to get with Spider-Man. Like, can you imagine what we were going to get with Spider-Man once it left Marvel? I know everyone was arguing Sony did Spider-Verse. Sony did Spider-Verse. I'm like, yeah, but they don't have a live action movie track record that's really good. You know, like
That's true.
no, like yeah, the animated movie was good, but that's completely different. Completely different. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's good. I want it to be good. Another rumor though. Apparently Marvel's going to be recasting Mockingbird for the Hawkeye TV series.
Are we not going to get what was her name? Adrian somebody or another?
Adrian Palicki?
Palicki?
Yeah, I want to say that. Yeah, from
Is it because she's in another TV show?
Maybe. And she definitely has way more contracts probably at this point. I know she was in Orville. I don't think that's still going on though.
It is. I just read an article about it.
Oh.
The third season.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. I only watched like 2 episodes of that.
That was as far as I got to. Apparently it's good, and it's like, should I give it another try?
It's actually funny. I have seen like an episode here and there. I'm not a big Star Trek fan, so
yeah, I feel like it's funny as a spoof of Star Trek. But I watched Voyager when I was a kid. That was about it. I didn't watch much else.
So it was like, is it a spoof of the original Star Trek?
One.
Next Generation? Is that the one with
Picard, right?
Yeah, Picard. Luke Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah. Number 1. Have y'all seen that commercial with Mike Hamill and him?
Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
And Patrick Stewart? No.
Patrick Stewart? Oh, it's hilarious. Y'all should check that.
What's their commercial for?
It's a Uber Eats commercial.
I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right.
Very unexpected. I wasn't expecting that.
So yeah, Mockingbird. We know she's pretty big in S.H.I.E.L.D. We talked about her before on the podcast, so it would be pretty cool to have her. I did like Adrian Palicki. I think that's her name. I did like her in the role on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I guess if you have to recast, that's fine. But yeah, apparently there's going to be a Nick Fury TV show too. So I'm wondering if she's going to show that.
I'm like, so is the Nick Fury show going to be the S.H.I.E.L.D. show we should have gotten?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Well, it's going to be S.W.O.R.D., right? Because Nick Fury's part of S.W.O.R.D. I think this has been confirmed for because in WandaVision you see some S.W.O.R.D. logos and stuff show up.
You do?
Yeah, in the trailer.
Yeah, in the trailer.
So
what's their logo?
It's a sword.
Oh. Obviously, it has to be more than just a sword. It's like that's the logo.
A circle thing with a sword through it. What's her name? Monica Rambeau. We heard she was going to be in the series, and we were wondering, like, in what way? Because she's got like Captain Marvel's powers. Obviously she doesn't have it yet. She's the little girl in Captain Marvel, her friend's daughter. So apparently she's an agent. So you saw her in the trailer too. She's an agent of S.W.O.R.D. And I think so is Darcy, because Darcy from Thor is in this series.
In WandaVision?
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. Call me dumb. We saw Monica Rambeau in the WandaVision trailer.
She was the black lady that got pushed back out of the fake world and stuff and landed on the grass.
Yeah.
That was
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? That was kind of okay.
I don't remember that.
We don't need you to rewatch the trailer.
Yeah, we did not see Darcy in this trailer, but I believe they said she was going to be in it early on.
Is Darcy a real Marvel character?
No, Darcy is God, what's her name?
I know who she is. Is she a real Marvel character?
No.
That was the question. Thank you.
Yeah. So, but apparently she's agent of S.W.O.R.D. I want to see what the deal with that is, or maybe she isn't. I don't know. But yeah, so we know S.W.O.R.D's up there. We had that scene from the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming or Far From Home with Nick Fury on the space station, which further alludes to him being a part of S.W.O.R.D. now. So I guess instead of moving on with S.H.I.E.L.D., since it was abandoned, it's going to be Sword,
Which is just Shield in space.
Yeah, Shield in space, which I guess will also be on Earth since there's no Shield.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool. So I don't know when Hawkeye's coming out, but I'll be interested in seeing that. Some more Disney news. Unfortunately, Disney is working on a Lion King prequel, I think.
Huh?
Yeah.
Prequel?
Yeah, Lion King
So
prequel.
this is the fight
When
between.
Mufasa and Scar was younger?
Yeah. I have to remember because now I'm like, did it say sequel or prequel? One of the two.
Either way, we don't need it.
Yeah, either way, don't do it, Disney.
Or sequel.
Yes.
We don't need it.
I
mean, they knew it was bad, right?
Yes. It made $1 billion, but that's because it was Lion King and everybody went to see it because it was Lion King. And it didn't matter what other people said. They were going to go see the movie. The movie was horrible.
They know it was bad. We told them it was bad. Why would you make another one?
I guess they're banking on people going to see it because it's Lion King again.
No, we're not that dumb.
No, we've fooled me once, Disney.
Right.
No, definitely. No, I'm not. This is unnecessary and no. You didn't do a good job on the first one. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see you ruin my childhood further, so please stop. But the last bit of news that I got, they finally cast Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's going to be played by Iman Vellani. She's a Canadian actress of Pakistani descent. And I looked it up. This is pretty much her first big thing ever. Like, I tried to search what else she's done and nothing came up. So I just have to say...
I was going to say, they said this is like her first role.
Yo, how would you like this to be your first role? Like, dude, your first role is the main character in a Marvel property?
Yeah.
Where can I sign up? Marvel, I want to act.
I'm glad that they kept the nationality the same or close to it.
Well, no, Kamala Khan in the comics is Pakistani American, so it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. You can't do this if you can't.
Well, I mean,
switch races.
They could have. I mean, they could have just picked another Middle Eastern.
Because Americans are dumb. But for everyone that is that race, they be like, "Yo, that's not the same." So you can't.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is very nice that they've done that. Picked a Pakistani actress. It's nice that this is her first role. Now, any other studio, I might be a little worried, but Marvel tends to do a pretty good job on their casting, so I feel like
they do a good job with their casting.
Yeah,
I think I do. I feel like they put thought and time in their casting.
Yeah,
like they just don't. Oh, it's Tom Cruise. Whatever role he wants, we're going to give him. It's like I think they actually put time and thought into their casting,
which is necessary. Yeah. Now,
it can make or break a movie.
Yeah, and then instead of just hiring people just because of their name, which like I think has worked in their favor throughout their movies, not just getting names, but picking people they think fit the role that they want.
And I feel like now you're getting a bunch of actors reaching out to them for roles in their movies. And it's just like, we got to see what you can fit in. And we're not just going to be like, oh, Bruce Willis in the next movie. It's like, no. We got to see what will work.
Yeah, and this is a lot of pressure on her because it's like not only are you the star role in a Marvel property, but like this is an important role, right? Kamala Khan is the first Muslim main character in Marvel Comics, like as a main superhero that had her own comic book, and this is going to be the first live action version of that character, so she's representing a lot. I think like that's.
And her character, I think she like has a very pivotal role in the comic books with leading the younger Avengers team.
Yeah, the Young Avengers team. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Some interesting facts. Apparently, she did not like the Captain Marvel movie. Like people,
She's not alone.
yeah, no, like that's fine. That means you probably have a decent taste.
Now, is this for Captain Marvel too?
No. She has a TV series on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I forgot about that.
But
Yeah,
Kevin
right.
Feige did say Miss Marvel will be in the movie. So this young girl is guaranteed a spot in the movie that's probably going to make close to $1 billion. So I hope her agent worked out a good contract. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of people getting paid, rumor has it that Marvel is offering Ryan Reynolds one of the highest MCU contracts ever.
I saw that. I
Yeah.
didn't get any details on it, but
There's like zero detail. But a lot of people are saying the same thing.
that just tells me they're going to be using Deadpool a lot, which
Yeah.
is fair.
Wow.
I feel like it's going to be cameos too. Like we're going to be watching a movie and he's going to randomly pop up.
It's going to be like
I'm fine
in
with
a
that.
movie.
I'm fine with
it's
that.
gonna be like another RPJ. It's like, okay, we gotta have like that one superstar guy. It's gonna be Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Put him in the Spider-Man. That's what instead of Electro, can we get Deadpool in Spider-Man 3? Like
Yes. I definitely feel like Deadpool should be in Spider-Man
and
3.
I think using Deadpool is easy. We've mentioned this before. You make him PG-13 for the movies that he appears in, and then you can make his regular movies rated R. Like, that's fine. And Deadpool can even acknowledge that he's in a Spider-Man movie now, so he has to be PG-13. It's fine. It's not even hard to do. I think the fans are making a big deal out of it. You can just do that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Because I'm like, you can have a scene where he was like, where he pauses and be like, normally I would have cut this dude's head off, but since I'm in a PG-13 movie because of the Marvel MCU,
I guess him with a foam sword instead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, just, yeah.
It's fine because the regular Deadpool movies, anyways, like 90% of it is him making jokes about crotches, which, by the way, is not that funny.
We mentioned it when we saw Once Upon a Deadpool. Everyone complaining about that movie in my opinion, had no real complaints. It was the exact same movie, just
yeah,
it was fine.
great.
That's the only version of that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it was fine. One, I'm sorry, people. The Deadpool movies are overrated.
Oh, you just made a bunch of enemies.
I don't care. They're overrated.
Ooh, you got
They're
a bunch of enemies.
at best. And it's feel
I
like
like
people
them.
like, oh,
I don't think it's the
was
best
so
movie
great
ever.
that we had a superhero that can cuss. But was the
Okay.
movie good?
You've already had that. They act like they haven't had already superhero movies before.
I don't know.
don't know.
They're okay at
That's
best.
because Punisher movies suck.
That's true.
True.
That's true.
Those are the only rated R superhero movies that I remember.
Blade?
Spawn is rated
Although
R.
Blade was not advertised. What?
Spawn is rated R, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spawn,
It
yeah.
wasn't advertised as a superhero movie. I don't think Blade was either.
A lot of movies people don't know. Like people talk about the comic book movie boom or whatever, but a lot of movies came from comic books. There are a lot of stuff that came out from comic books.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about like the Watchmen, what else was it?
It'd be stuff Sin City.
Sin City, yeah.
It'd be stuff you don't even expect. Wanted was a comic.
Yeah.
That was a comic book.
Yeah,
Comic book.
that's a rated R comic book movie. Like there were a lot of stuff that you didn't expect it, but like they were comic books at first. So
I think the difference is they don't advertise them as comic book movies because if you say Sin City is a comic book movie, people are like, oh, I don't want to see that.
yeah, wasn't Kill Bill a comic book? Or no?
I don't know.
Or did they come out with a comic book after the movie? It might have been that.
Might. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Well, I mean, but yeah. So, yeah, I think that's good. Ryan Reynolds fits the role of Deadpool. He's a good pick for it. I think he'll fit in the MCU, and I think he'll definitely add some positivity to it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. With that being said, I was because we were talking about Iman Vellani. I'm going to butcher her name forever, having such an important part in the, they're also hiring, I didn't get their names, but they are like Muslim directors and producers for the show as well. Now, generally, I say that it's unnecessary. Like when they're like, oh, the movie has a black star, we'll use a black director, or is a female star, like they did for Wonder Woman and like they did for Captain Marvel and like they did for Black Panther. Now, those directors did a good job. I'm not going to, except for Captain Marvel. Those directors did a good job, so it's fine. I just find it like, just because the character is a woman or black, you don't have to do this. I'm going to say the opposite on this particular show because you're talking about a Muslim American. And I feel like if you really want to get the feel for life as a Muslim American, then you should have like a director that knows that instead of someone just guessing what that is like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need someone that understands that culture.
Yeah.
And the average white guy who makes it, most of our directors do not understand that culture.
Right.
So in order to embody the emphasis of what she means, you have to have someone who lives that life.
Yeah. Which I definitely agree with that. So that's all I had for the news. But if you want to make a debut as strong as Iman Vellani in podcasting, then consider checking out Buzzsprout. That is what we use for our podcast, and it is hands down the easiest and best way to launch and promote and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. So if you're looking to start a podcast, check out our affiliate link below where you can sign up for Buzzsprout yourself. With that being said, let's talk Ocean's 12. So, how long has it been since you guys seen this movie last? Because I think it's been like forever for me.
Like 10 years.
I've seen it when it came out on DVD.
Yeah.
So
when our parents had it.
So it's got to be almost 20 years.
Probably 10 years for me. I don't think I've seen it since I've been married. So, yeah.
Like watching it, honestly, I semi knew the plot, but everything was new to me. Like I never seen it.
Yeah, me was like, oh, I forgot that happened.
For me, now watching it and knowing the ending, and this is not the second time I've watched it, but I don't know, I was a kid, so me watching it multiple times, I didn't notice anything new. But this time watching it, there were so many clues throughout the movie showing you that they had already done the job. And I was like, I just went over my head all the times that I watched it, but watching it this time, I saw it. But before we get into the meaty stuff, Derek, what was the story of Ocean's 12?
So basically the story was that Benedict wanted to come back and he wanted his money. Mm-hmm. And so basically he gave him the time frame of them giving his money or he was going to kill him. And so they had to come up with a job where they could give him back his money plus interest. But there was a plot twist, and that was the gist of the movie.
Awesome. What I like about this movie, I remember hearing people like, not in general when a movie come out, but like people talk about the Ocean movies, like, oh, they're not really good movies or whatever. But this isn't supposed to be taken seriously. This is definitely a comedy, and I think it does well as a comedy.
I feel like it does.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Is it dumb? Yeah, but it's entertaining, and I feel like it's entertaining enough. And I remember when I was watching it earlier, it was thinking like, I remember people not liking this movie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's funny. I mean, it's not as good as the first one, but it is a good movie.
It was
definitely
like
I just didn't understand. I didn't understand the hate.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think this was a decent movie. You can definitely watch it.
Yeah, it is definitely a rewatchable movie. And so I don't know. I'm wondering if people was like, oh, but they're not robbing a casino though. Which I'm glad that it was different. That it wasn't your standard heist movie. That it was, we're doing a bunch of little jobs, and then really at the end of the day, it was just they swiped out, really.
Yeah.
So it wasn't your standard robbery movie, which I thought was great because then it makes it different than the first one. Because I hate when sequels is basically
The
what's the
exact
same.
same movie.
Yeah. Like the ending job of this movie was simple. The entire movie was Jim just putting on a role. Like all they did was steal a bag. It wasn't complicated or anything, and that is interesting. A different change of pace. I thought it was decent. What I didn't like about the movie, I don't really have much I didn't like about it. I felt like there were a few scenes where Catherine Zeta-Jones, I didn't like her acting in it, didn't feel that great for me, but for the most part, she did good. That was my only thing. I think it was like one or two scenes where I was like, I think that could have been better.
I was like Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's all.
Okay. Darren, I agree with you. I feel like to me, the ending, I feel like we could have did without that. Like, she's a new character, and she gets reunited with her father. I'm like, I just didn't care, and I didn't need to see it.
I don't think we were supposed to. They just needed an explanation.
We didn't need it. Like,
for Rusty to get his girl back.
Like, it's like, oh, her father was really Lamarck, and I'm just, so what? I feel like we didn't need it.
Yeah. Acting, of course. This powerhouse cast, I think all the acting was fine. Like I said, it was just one or two scenes with Catherine Zeta-Jones that I didn't really like, but acting was great. And can we talk about Julia Roberts playing someone acting as her and acting as her horribly? Like, if you can act as yourself badly, like, that is some meta stuff, dude. Like,
like I feel like that whole scene, I feel like as far as cameos go, Bruce Willis killed it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that whole scene, like the way she reacted when Bruce Willis walks into the room, it's like you would think that she was really surprised, like she didn't know Bruce Willis was coming.
Yeah. And she was a Bruce Willis fan, right? Like, and just Bruce Willis is just right there.
Yeah, like she reacted how I would react right now if Bruce Willis was at my door, like, whoa. So I feel like that whole scene, that whole like, oh, you know who she looks like? It was good. And like you said, it was like someone who's pretending to be someone real, even though they are that real person.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pretend to be me and then be horrible at being me. Like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, that's... I don't know. That just seems like it's really hard to do. But she blew that out of the park. That was pretty cool. I don't know. I like the jobs. The first job they did with the house, that was pretty awesome. I thought that was cool. And there's a couple of things I noticed now. One, I'm stupid because I never noticed that Topher Grace was playing Topher Grace in the beginning of this movie.
You should not.
I'm with you. That. I did not know that either.
How? Seriously, guys?
I haven't seen the movie in over 20 years.
Yeah, you know it was Topher Grace at that time? First of all, it's been 15 years, not 20. Get your years correct. Don't add an extra 4 years to it to justify you not knowing these things.
Did we? Has Spider-Man 3 come out yet? Oh, no, we watched that 70s show. Never mind.
See? Yeah, you knew who Topher was.
Yeah, I did watch that 70s show. I watched it while it was out.
And I did not.
I didn't watch it while it was out. I watched it after the fact. And I was like, this is funny.
It is actually.
Yeah. That, and then I didn't notice the thing with the pictures when they stole the pictures from the Night Fox's house. Now, Devora says that it's a middle finger. I say it's something else. We'll let the commenters decide what it is.
It's a middle finger. Okay. I thought we agreed.
It's an upside down T. I'm just saying. Usually they have to pick something else, not a middle finger. But all right.
We had this conversation.
It's a sword. Yeah, it's a sword without a hilt.
It's a middle finger.
Either way, I'd never noticed that they stole the pictures in a particular order to like send a message to him. I thought they just stole his pictures before, so that was interesting. I noticed a few things that pointed out like that actually let you know that they had done the job before. when she called on Rusty's phone and got the guy making the hologram, it was too. If they were coming up with the plan to do that heist, like if they were just now, because the premise at that point in the movie was things had gone down wrong for them, so they had to come up with a plan to steal that. It would have been too early, way too early for him to have that mostly done. And I was like, so that means he was working on it beforehand. When they were going over their heist plan, Rusty said at 10:45 we all get arrested, and that was supposed to like seem like he was being sarcastic, like this is not going to work. But no, it was part of the plan for them to get arrested.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up on the first time, but I picked it up the second time. I was like, oh, he was literally saying 10:45 we're getting arrested, not because we all failed, but because we will all get arrested.
Yeah,
I did not pick that up the first time I watched it either.
It was interesting. You know, the camera points at the bag a few times.
Right. Mm-hmm. Literally telling us this is it.
Yeah.
And did not pick up. Because, I mean, he did that in the first one, too. Like, you know, it's like with the SWAT van. He would zoom in on the air freshener.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's like, oh, yeah, that same air freshener. So he's telling you this, but you don't pick up on it.
Yeah. The camera work in this is pretty good. That type of storytelling.
Telling?
Yeah.
Storytelling?
Yeah. I think that type of storytelling is pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it even the second time, even though I'm noticing things. I thought it was pretty fun to kind of pick all that stuff out. It was pretty good. Any other thoughts you guys had?
I have one, but I'm going to save it for my nitpick.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I guess we can get into that. Random movie facts, Devora?
Random movie facts? All right. So apparently Matt Damon was going to back out of this film. The internet is not agreeing on why. Sometimes it was like, oh, he wanted a bigger role. Then there's like, no, he wanted a smaller role because he was coming off the Bourne Supremacy. Either way, he really was going to back out the film. And they were going to replace him with Mark Wahlberg?
Nope.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I don't know. Mark Wahlberg can't play the innocent young person of the group. Nope.
Right. I feel like what makes Linus great is that he's like this nerdy, dorky guy, like the scene with Matsui. And they're like all saying these nonsensical sentences. And then, you know, he like quotes a line from like Led Zeppelin, I think. And they're just like, he made fun of his 9-year-old niece. And
you called her a whore. A cheap one. I was like, oh my God.
And I just, like, Mark Wahlberg cannot, I just feel like he cannot, that naive innocence that Matt Damon gives off, like, as the newbie to the group, I just don't think he'd be able to pull that off.
No, yeah. I'm glad that he stayed in this movie. He definitely played a bigger role too, I thought. He did a lot more.
Yeah, because the rumor was that he wanted a bigger role.
I don't know. That was one of the rumors. The other one was like he wanted a smaller role because he was just tired. But I don't know.
Who knows? George Clooney or Brad Pitt probably talked him into doing it. So.
It was Brad Pitt who talked him into doing it. Yep.
I can see that.
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
Okay. Bernie Mac. The reason why his roles were reduced, which is another, I'm like, Bernie Mac was hardly in this movie. Apparently there was a lot of scheduling conflicts and he also got sick during filming. And so that's why his role was smaller than normal. And also, you know the scene in the hotel when there's like Frank is in the bathroom and like the guy's like knocking on the door? They threw that in there because Bernie Mac really was in the bathroom during that scene.
Oh. That's funny. Okay.
No.
All right, that's funny though.
But that is why. But now that we're talking about Bernie Mac, okay. So Catherine Zeta-Jones come up with this yada yada. Ha! I found Frank. Did Frank give him? She found a room.
Wait, what did you say? You cut out there.
So okay, so Frank gets arrested like the end of Act 1,
Yeah.
right? And so then after he gets arrested, she finds the hotel room that Rusty is staying in and that they're all in. How did she find it? Like, did Frank give him up?
Were they on their main job at that point?
They were in Amsterdam, but before they got on the bus with the football team.
Okay. I say it could have been part of their plan, and yeah, he let them know let her know.
I think he did it on purpose. I feel like that's dirty. It doesn't seem like something he would do, but he gets arrested and then she's at the door.
Yeah, or she just found, like, she does know Rusty, so she could have just found what hotel he was staying at.
I don't know. I feel like she was doing some suspect detective work, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but again, they did plan on getting arrested, so
maybe it was part of the plan.
It could have been part of the plan, especially since you're like, oh, they made these people's faces, and they knew they were going to be watched by old dude, so maybe they wanted to make it seem like it was bad. Also, he could have gave him away.
I don't know. Okay, I was just wondering. I was just like, I don't know. I feel bad. Just Frank just like give him up like that. Okay. The last scene when she discovers her father. They actually had to shoot that scene separately because her and Albert Finney, I believe his name is, schedules did not line up, so they were never actually in the same room together.
Hug each other or something?
Yes, but you don't see their faces.
Oh.
Wow.
So yes, there is a hug, but they're not hugging each other.
Well, it's not the first or the last time that's been done in movies. Nope. It's always interesting when it's done. It's like, yeah, they've never been in the same room, and you're like, what? I forgot what it was for. It was like some movie, and they took a group picture for the movie. Like, everyone took the picture separately. And then they just stitched the pictures together. I was like, oh, okay.
Like, my favorite is Martin, the TV show, the last season.
That was ridiculous. That was not clever.
Martin and Tina was never in the same scene that whole season.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. Right?
That was clever. That was pretty obvious that they no longer wanted to be with each other.
Yeah. All right. Any other random movie facts?
Yeah, these facts aren't good, but that was all I had. Okay, I have more, but they're not good. At the train station, Soderbergh really wanted a train to, I was going to say drive by, but I guess that's not the word for trains. Whatever the word for trains is in the background. But apparently the train kept breaking down, so they had to do it in an empty train station.
Okay. All right.
Now that's random.
Yeah, that's definitely a random fact. I don't think it affected the movie at all.
No, it didn't. I didn't care that the train station didn't have trains. It's not always trains in a train station.
Right.
Sometimes it's empty.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Last one I had. So they had to reduce Julia Roberts' role because she was pregnant by the time they started filming.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that when she took the pillow out from under her thing, that she was pretending she was pregnant, I was looking, I was like, she still looks pregnant. Like,
yes, she was having twins at the time. Because even at the beginning of the movie, when she's like painting, and it had like all that paint stuff in front of her, like you've never seen her full body in the movie.
Yeah.
Except for pretending to be pregnant because she was really pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
That was my last one. Can we talk about nitpicks?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So I just feel like Catherine Zeta-Jones' character, like stuff just doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, she goes to the house and she's like, the Americans were here. You know this. Did they plant a flag that said the Americans?
Yeah, that was a stretch. That was a stretch because she was like, it's supposed to be because she told Rusty about the job that they emulated there. And because she told him, she's like, oh, it has to be him. Which to me, I'm like, what? You the only person that knows about this job? I don't.
Like, Lamarck is a famous guy. And then I feel like she said that before she realized that they raised the building up.
Right.
She's like, oh, the Americans got outrod by this other guy. And I'm like, you know this. They're just so random.
Yeah, that was a stretch. I didn't. Well, I guess that's why I call it nitpicks. So it's like it didn't bother me that much. But yeah, you're right. That's definitely a stretch on that point.
I even feel like how she found Frank was a stretch. Like, oh, it's a size 14 boot. blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
And then
first
she
of all, like,
went to nail salons.
yeah, like, seriously?
Wait, do nail salons, do they measure your foot? Like, do you have a customer with a size 14? Like, that's
I
weird.
don't know, Afghanian people who wear 14?
I don't. Yeah, no, that's.
Like, and then what if Frank would have bought that shoe back in the U.S.? Like, how did we like? Oh, he went to Amsterdam and
Oh
bought a
yeah,
size 14.
was that European size 14?
Wait, what's that in U.S. sizes? Like
I don't
8?
know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
No, it ain't no 8. But I feel like 14 is kind of big, even for the U.S. though. Like, how many people wear over a 12?
Not a lot. I mean, it's a big shoe size, but I was just like, well, that
Apparently,
was
they don't make enough of them because I can never find it in my shoe size.
What?
well because a lot of people don't wear it, so they got to buy it direct.
Yes, most people have smaller feet. Stop being weirdos with big feet.
Well, I think it would look weird for me being tall and have small feet.
No, that's weird.
True. Yeah, that would be weird. All right, what other nitpicks do you have there?
And that was my main one. It was just,
Okay. Well,
it just irks
some
me.
stretches on that, but I don't think they really wanted to be serious enough to figure out a real solid reason. They just wanted it to happen.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then the whole Night Fox guy, he was just mad. Like, you got your pride hurt, so then you, like, do all of this?
Pretty
Ridiculous.
much. That's pretty much
Although,
it.
I will say, we did not talk about this, but Andy Garcia, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah. At the beginning of the movie, I kind of like his, like, introduction. And how we, get to see what everyone's doing by him just coming by and just, like, I want my money.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was... Thought it was done pretty nice.
I did like that.
Yeah.
That was dope. I mean, that took you into the movie right at the beginning. You're like, oh, so he's coming after them now. And it just set the precedent. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that the scene with him, with Night Fox stealing the egg, awesome scene. I always thought that when I was a kid, I thought it was awesome. And it's still awesome, dancing past the lasers.
He got struck by some of them lasers, though, right?
Yeah, you can't get through that. Although they were like, it's random, so you can't plan a path through it. I'm going to say this. Computer random is not really random. You will be able to find a pattern in it. So, it's like, you could get past it. It might be difficult.
That's true.
But you can. Because computers can actually be random.
All right.
Not really.
Yeah, so I did like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, best quotes.
I don't know. There's just like whole scenes.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I have a quote.
I had one when I was watching it. I'm about to see if I can look it up.
Okay, yeah.
And I knew I was going to forget it. I should have wrote it down.
Yeah, I don't think I have a particular quote with this movie. It's just because it, like Devorah said, it'd be like whole scenes that stand out to me instead of just like a one line.
Yeah, it's like whole scenes. Like I felt like the scene between Linus and Rusty on the plane when he like wakes Rusty up. It's like, oh, I want to ask you a question. He's like, yo, dude. He's like, oh, I was almost gonna come over. He's like, didn't I still be sleeping?
That is good. Even when I was a kid, I like this line with Don Cheadle talking to Julia Roberts. I don't know why I always find it so funny. And he's like, you gotta get the accent. The accent is crucial. And it's just ironic. I think they had him say that line because his accent is horrible. Like, he has a horrible British accent. It's not good. It's not accurate at all. But I feel like that's why they had him do it. Also, on that note, I've heard people complain about him not doing a good accent in this movie, and I was like, I think that's the point.
That's the point.
I don't think it was the point, honestly, guys. I think it's just a bad accent.
Well, I'm saying, when I say the point, I don't think they even tried to put in the resources to get him the vocal coaching and stuff.
Bad. No, I don't think it was meant to be bad.
Oh, okay.
He's just bad at it.
He's just bad at it, and they're just like, roll with it.
I'm fine with it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. But it's a bad English accent. It's pretty bad. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's not good. But I mean,
this wasn't Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, back to the quote things, like there's like whole scenes of things. Like you were saying, like that, and like when they're before they come up with the idea to get tests, and they're like coming up with like all of these names to heist or whatever. It's like, oh, not enough people, not enough people. Then he's like, one thing, he's like, oh, we don't have enough time to train a cat. And then you just like, what kind of heist is that?
Yeah, I like the one when it was like, "Do I look 50 to you?"
Oh yeah.
Really? Well, I mean, only from the neck up.
Only from the neck. Thanks. That's pretty much where you look in age.
I mean, he has honestly always looked 50.
True.
He has.
True.
Yes.
By the way, he was 42 when they shot the movie.
It's like 48. You think he's 48? 52? Like, you don't go up, man. That's basically like you're saying, like, well, you can't be younger than 48. Ah, man, I think I'd be so hurt. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Oh, it was isn't like you said, it's not a quote, but the whole scene when Don Cheadle was in the studio.
Oh yeah, with the phone ringing to bleep them out.
He was like, "This is horrible. I can't understand anything that he's saying."
Hey, to be real, that's how some songs be on the radio. It just be like a whole line and it's just music. You're like, okay, I guess.
There's a certain song on the radio.
The recent Cardi B song.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I would
It's
say
just,
the first 40 seconds is just the music.
I'm like, well, this is
like, why
weird.
did you even put that on the radio? Just don't. Just don't put it on the radio. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I guess it's time to rank the movie.
Sure.
All right. So I want to put it between Watch While Folding Clothes and I Pay for That, because I feel like it's good enough for the I Pay for That, but would I really, like, if I saw it in the store, would I really buy it? Probably not. So, but like, I would watch it if it was on TV, and I wouldn't be folding clothes. I'll just watch the movie. So yeah, I don't know. I'll put it in between those two.
I agree. I feel like this movie is highly rewatchable, and if it's on TV, I will watch it. But you're right. It's not a movie I will like buy. Like, oh, I love this movie. Let me buy it so I can watch it whenever. But when I see it somewhere, I do watch it.
Yeah.
I will say watch Why Folding Clothes. Because
Because
I feel like it's in between, but I'm leaning more so toward the watch while folding clothes. So that would be my ranking.
yeah, that's the problem with our arbitrary ranking system that makes no sense. So Ocean's 12 gets a watch while folding clothes from 3D Rivals. What did you think of the movie? Let us know on the many places that you can reach us. We are on Twitch now. We have one episode up on there. This episode wasn't on Twitch, but we are on Twitch. So if you want to check us out live, we usually record on Sunday around 9 p.m. Eastern time. And that is twitch.tv/3D Rivals. Also, you can reach out to us on gmail.com, 3drivals@gmail.com, excuse me. And tweet at us on Twitter. This at 3_rivals. And of course, Facebook, which is 3D Rivals, or facebook.com/3D Rivals. I'm going to get all of the stuff. Don't worry. It's 3D Rivals everywhere. If you're looking for us, just put 3D Rivals, except for Twitter. It's just 3_rivals there. But other than that, thank you so much for listening and watching, guys. We appreciate it. Peace out.
Peace out.